We're live. How's it going?
Very good. How are you?
Good. I feel like I've seen so much of you today.
Too much. Too
Too
much.
much.
Oh my God, too much.
Way too much.
Yep.
I really do love that tank top. Is that like
Mhm.
a brand or is it
You guys don't have decathlon over there, do you?
is that like what is that? Is that a brand?
Yeah, so it's like
I feel like
it's
I've heard of that, but maybe I'm thinking triathlon. That's what it sounded like to me when you
it
said
does
it.
sound like that. So it is a European brand.
Mm-hmm.
Um that it's like a sporting store that just has tons and tons of stuff at really good
Oh.
prices.
No, we just have dicks.
Yeah, so many dicks, like 15.
Dicks galore.
Yeah, tons and tons of dicks. But yeah.
Yours sounds much bougier and fancier
It
than
does, right? Because
Dick's
it's
does.
Euro. Oh my
Mhm.
God.
I like it.
Right. Thank you.
Hi, is it Close Berry Fit or Kloss Berry Fit? Can't see the
Oh,
picture. I don't know
what's
who that
up, buddy?
is.
How are you?
Do you know who that is?
I do. I do.
Oh, hey.
Jacked, bro. He's jacked.
Jacked. That's all
He
that's
is
needed. That's all
jacked.
you need
That's
to
all you
know.
need to know, man. He's jacked.
Perfect. I know Dr. Shan Mack is here, waiting in vain. Ew, who's that? Get out of
That
here.
guy's so cool.
Oh,
Oh,
Kloss. Okay, thank you. Kloss. I like it.
he's Carlos.
I like it.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I got to eat my BAM
Oh, look,
amino
it
balls.
matches your outfit. Did you
See,
plan
I
that?
did. I sure. Oh,
Look, it's like exact.
oh my God. We got to take a
You're
picture of
so
that.
good.
So good.
Wow. What's
So
up?
good.
Look, Rachel's in. What's up, girl? Good to see you. Man, it has been a whirlwind of a day today for me.
It's been a lot.
Has it been busy for you too?
Yeah, it has been a lot, but it's been good. It's been good.
Same. Yeah, it's been all good stuff. Just like
Just
where
lots of
did the
good stuff.
day go?
Yep. I can't get over how well this matches. This is perfect.
You put it on the other side so people can see it because your nameplate is like in the way.
Oh, is it on your side?
Yeah, there you go. There it
Boom.
is.
Caramel
There it is.
amino balls coming to the States very soon.
Are they?
They're
Ooh.
trying. Hopefully
Mm-hmm.
very soon, but they're awesome. I love them, especially
Oh,
right now that
that's
I'm
why I haven't tried
maintaining.
to like get my hopes up because I knew they were just Canadian. I'm like, I don't want to start liking them and
Mm,
not be able to get them. So,
yeah, they're so good. Just as a snack,
mm-hmm.
if you want to have a snack that has fiber, has good fats, has protein,
Tastes
tastes really
good.
good. Oh my God, they're good. And
I mean,
especially now that I'm not cutting, I'm gonna have my snack.
I know.
'Cause
I like switched things up when I got back from Canada
Mhm.
of my eating habits because it's like I just like I wouldn't eat enough during the day and then I'd get to my workout and I'd get like halfway through and feel like I'm going to pass out. I'm like, I need to adjust things. So like I totally readjusted things and I'm eating the same amount of food. I'm just trying to eat it more in earlier and it's been so much better.
Oh, that's good.
It's been nice.
And I think that's the big thing, right? Like anytime you do a program or something like this, the whole point is not for it to end
Mm-mm.
at the show. It's for you to learn and be able to
Mm-hmm.
continue afterwards, right? Like that's the
Mm-hmm.
big win.
Yep, totally. I know, like it's funny because it's like I had so much fun at the show, but like it's like the experience itself of being with all of you guys in Canada, like that was like my favorite part out of all of
Mhm.
it. And it's like the show itself was cool, but I've been reflecting a lot on that of like, wow, I just like I learned so much in the process, and
Yeah,
I'm just excited to like continue it and not
for sure.
really do anything too different. And I took a different approach too than some, but it's like yeah, I don't know. It's been good. It's been nice just kind of giving, or I feel like I've had the opportunity just to readjust routines and kind of look at things I want to do different. And it's been great.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, look, Mary's here. Hey, y'all. Stopping in while I have service. I don't know why she sounds like that, but that's
I know. No, it'd be like this. Hey, y'all,
hey,
stopping
y'all.
in while I have service.
Yeah.
That's
Eating my
my
rice
Mary
cakes.
impression. Yeah, I know. That was so cute.
She was like, at the show, I was eating a lot of carbs when you guys saw
Hmm.
me. and
Because she said she hadn't tried rice cakes
never,
before,
like, in
right?
years,
Yeah,
like
it had been
a
a
lot
long
of years, and she
time.
was like, and they sucked, and I was like, all right, you haven't had my rice cakes.
I like actually have been wanting Frosted Flakes. I'm like, I just want to get like a little carton of them because like you made them look so good.
As I was just like mowing down on the
Yeah,
family
I'm like,
box.
now I kind of want some actually. You didn't
That
let any of us have them.
No, because I throw my numbers off. I need to eat the whole box.
I know.
Horrible.
I
Yes,
know.
rice cakes with peanut butter,
Hmm.
rice cakes with honey and salt. That
Hmm.
was my backstage meal.
Yeah.
Many
That's
many
what you got
meals.
kicked out of a restaurant for was for that.
Yeah, yeah, for my rice cakes and
You're
honey.
right.
Friggin' jerk.
You were serious.
I know. He was just. I'm like, you're like at a
He,
bodybuilding show. I'm like, you're gonna kick the people out who's gonna bring
I
their
know.
food. I'm
He
like, all
was
right.
making us all feel a little weird. Like I think I don't know. He was just saying weird comments and stuff. So it wasn't just you.
All right, all right.
We have Holly, we have Arthur. He's coming in from the attic, from
Yeah,
Rob's
coming
attic
down. I heard him.
directly.
I heard
Uh-huh.
him.
He was
Hmm.
coming.
Yep.
We have Taylor. I was just talking with my friend Taylor. I got some ironing done while I was talking with her. It was a great time. We've been friends since kindergarten.
We got Holly.
My friend Taylor.
No, I said we got Holly, and you're like,
Oh,
oh,
I
my
thought
friend Taylor.
you
No, I said Holly, man.
Holly.
Taylor's great, but
But
it's not
like,
all about you,
let's move.
Taylor.
No, it is all about her. She's
Okay,
she's
okay.
freaking rad.
We got some Holly too. Don't worry. See?
Yeah.
Oh, hey. I don't know why she
Holly.
sounds like that.
Hey, I like your impersonations you're doing of everyone. Do Arthur's what he said in the comment. Do his impression.
I don't know why in my head he's always like, ho ho ho.
Like
Like,
Santa?
yeah.
Because he lives in the attic, so he was
Yeah.
Santa.
Yeah. He's Santa. He's a big black Santa with a gold like Speedo.
Yes, I like it.
Yeah, I like it. That's
See, look, he's saying that was crazy at the restaurant. Mary is agreeing that
mhm.
the dude was a little weird. So, and
Screw that dude.
Taylor confirmed it's all about her. So
Okay.
I'm glad we got things squared away. We should probably just end it here.
Have a good day, guys. Thank you very much for joining us on another episode of the Waiting Table Podcast, where we're serving the weight loss community.
You really committed.
Yeah.
I'll just. I know. And then freaking Murph, I feel so bad. He's just had like, what? Wait, now your microphone really isn't working. I don't hear you.
Son of a shit.
There you go.
He's
Well,
just
I
like,
heard that.
Yeah, I know. That was on purpose. Oh, one rice cake at a time. Yes.
Ooh,
No, it was like
that's a good
three.
one.
It was like
Yeah.
3 rice cakes at a time.
Yeah, poor Murph though. It's like poor guy. He's had just like a really weird day today. So he's not going to be able to make it, but it's like there wasn't anything that could have been done.
No.
He's okay. His family's okay. It's
Mhm.
just wildness. So
Yeah. So unfortunately, he will not be able to join us.
But we might still have a special guest. We're not
Mhm.
entirely sure on that. We're gonna wait and see. I feel bad if Phil does show up and he's like, why am I hanging out with you guys?
I don't even like you guys.
I know.
I just want Christopher.
I know Christopher.
Mhm.
But anyway, this is happy half hour. We've already talked enough about your balls, Rob. We've talked enough about like everything else.
Dicks.
Yeah,
Sporting goods.
Gosh, if we have to leave room to talk about periods. We've already talked about all the other stuff. Periods feel left out. So
Yeah. We'll make time. Always.
we'll get there. We'll get there. But it is Men's Mental Health Day too, so we can allow for the dick and balls to continue, I suppose.
100%. I only watch for Shea. Holly, she was all about her friend. Taylor this, Taylor that. I'm like, what about Holly?
What about Holly?
What about Holly? And then now you're only watching for Shea. Get out of here.
I love me some Holly. I need to get on down to the south to visit Holly. When Mel goes down the next time, I want to come with her and hang out with you. But this is happy half hour where we celebrate your guys's non-scale victory. Look, we have Tony over in YouTube land, which is awesome because he's a man. And has
a
mental
man.
health.
Yeah. You have
So
mental health and you're a man. So welcome to the show.
welcome. But yeah, what are your guys's non-scale victories? What have been your wins this week? I'm gonna ask you first, Rob. What's been your non-scale victory this week?
So many. So one, I started my new job this week
Mm-hmm.
on Monday, which was amazing. I am going to be the sales manager for Canada for a new product that's being launched in Canada, which is going to be free and
Woo-hoo.
amazing, with an amazing company that really, really speaks to who I am and what I want professionally and in terms of values with the company. So I'm super, super excited about it. Great team. Going to really allow me to keep my work-life balance and my quality of life really, really going. So I love it. On
That's
top of
awesome.
that, so post show I gained like 15 pounds
Mm-hmm.
in 3 days. That's how much I ate.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I'm at the point where I'm getting rid of all of it now. My water's all down, or most of it's down. My stomach is emptied. I've been eating lots of fiber, so it's been a good day or a good week last few
Mm-hmm.
days.
That's really
And
why you need the work flexibilities for when that
yeah,
fiber kicks in. You gotta
100%.
be ready.
That's why I'm eating amino balls, 5 grams of fiber, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most importantly, for the way I'm feeling right now, is Transform Bariatric Bodybuilding is going to have some kick-ass people
Mm-hmm.
going to radical body transformations next year.
Yes.
So I'm super, super excited about that. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of them who will eventually also stay on and will be appearing at the Just Be You Bariatric Bodybuilding Awards. So yeah, I think it's going to be really, really cool.
So for those that missed last week, can you tell, like, what are you talking about?
What are we talking about? We are talking about in 2027, the Just Be You Awards, Transform Bariatric Bodybuilding, as well as the Waiting Table and OSLP. And the Just Be You Awards will be bringing bariatric bodybuilding to the show. So it's going to be one of the nights at the event. We're going to do it up really, really well. Damn right. Whoa. Right. One more time. One more.
time.
That's the one. That dirty sounding man.
I know it's
But
you.
it's gonna be yeah, I recorded that. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
But it's gonna be awesome. Like, one of the big things that we recognized is, as much as amazing as radical body transformations was, there are still people who view bariatric surgery in a very specific way. And we wanted to create a very safe space for anyone who did want to step on stage and dip their toes in the idea of getting on stage for a transformation show, or a showcase, as we like to call it. And so we are creating that safe space for you guys to not only get on stage, but get the whole experience of shedding all your insecurities, getting up there and celebrating your individual as well as your collective win. So
Yeah.
it is going to be amazing. I can't tell you where it's going to be yet, because I don't think we're allowed to. I don't even know if we know. And
You
but
better
it's
be
gonna be freaking
careful.
awesome.
Yeah, be careful. That's why, like, I'm not saying anything, because I'm like, I'm just gonna pretend I don't know a thing.
Oh, I'll spill all the beans on
I
Mel.
know. That's
Mel
why.
can't fight me. Mel can't fight me.
Well, she will be at
She will.
the end of her training.
I know, because she's gonna kill it, because she also will be up there.
She'll be at Radical Body and
Mhm.
JBY, obviously.
Yep.
And look, Murph joined the chat. Murph buddy, we were just saying how, like, your life has been like not like a sitcom show. I mean, kind of like you've just had weird things happening today. And so we were just saying that we're going to miss you. But he is another competitor too for the JBY. He announced that last week. So I am so excited. Talk about tears. That's why I don't want to compete again, because I'll just be sobbing the whole time, especially with Murph's. Like, I'll start crying now, even just thinking about it. So I won't think about it right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, those were my NSVs. Lots of really, really good ones. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Sharky Chicky. She goes, it's the goose poop he stepped in. That's why he's not here. He
Mhm.
didn't want us to say that because he was very embarrassed. But yes, it was the goose poop.
Yep. Yep. Adrian Fuller, you are in the right place. She says, I'm here for Men Month. Didn't realize the rest was mental health. Silly me. I just want to be where all the cute boys are. You're in the right place. You're here.
At least, well, if Murph was here, but
If Murph was here, you'd be in the right place. You're in, you're in the vicinity.
vicinity.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, gosh, lots of NSVs. Look, we had one from Holly. This is such an awesome one. She said, NSV this week, I can pull my own body weight up. I don't, what did she say? I didn't know until this week. Yes, girl.
Nice.
That's like my goal. I like am working towards that. That's a really big accomplishment. That's super awesome.
Do you know why that one is so awesome too? Is because we are, I won't generalize, but I'm going to generalize. We are deathly afraid of trying to lift our own body weight. Like even me, like there was a girl at the gym was just like doing pull-ups and we were talking about it. And I was just like, not even thinking about it. I'm like, I don't even know if I can do pull-ups. And she's like, are you freaking kidding me? She's like, of course you can. I'm like, no, but in my head, I'm just like, no, really. I'm definitely
well,
afraid
you
to
even said
try
that
it.
when we were on, remember when we were on the subway and like people were doing that, and I was surprised you didn't because you were like, I don't even know if I can. I was even thinking like, really? Like, I don't think you can. So did you try it?
Yeah, I did like 10. But
oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, but it's a true thing. Like we just don't want to try it because we're scared because just like I couldn't do any of that stuff. And so I haven't tried it since then, really. And so that's a huge one because it all just comes out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, it was so awesome when when we were in Toronto, we were on the subway and I don't remember who started it, but I know Heather, like with the bars, she did them. I think Arthur did them.
Yeah, but Dylan was doing Arthur's was awesome because he was doing it right in front of this old Chinese lady. And she was like, and then he kept going in front of her every time. I'm like, dude, why are you going in front of the lady? Like there's so many empty areas, but you go in front of this lady.
Yeah, people did not like us on the subway. I don't 100%. Even feel like we were being disruptive, but there was this like older lady who got mad at me and Arthur's wife. We were just like talking like normal, but she was, and she said, I guess like, why are they yelling? And I'm like, we weren't yelling, like we were just like having just like a conversation. But
we're not yelling. We're American.
Yeah, that's honestly probably what it is. I get it. Ooh, and Holly did 11. Holly. Oh yeah.
Train pull-ups, subway pull-ups, TTC pull-ups.
Sharky Chicky said just carried 150-pound statue without dying. Okay, we need a little bit more context on that. What was the statue? Why were you carrying it? Where were you carrying it to? Oh, it makes sense. It's you.
A statue of me.
Statue of Liberty, but for Canada.
Yeah, I send statues to all my 10 followers on Instagram. All 10 of them, I send statues, marble, everything is great.
And it's like life size, 150 pounds. So wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good to know.
Tony. Some good ones.
Yeah.
30 plus flights of stairs a day for 6 weeks straight, working towards 7 this week. Holy crap, man. Good for you.
I like his picture, how it's of Yoda. Is that baby Yoda or just regular Yoda?
Is that the Grogu or the Yoda? You let us know.
You let us know, Tony.
You let us know.
And I want to know is, again, more context here. Are you running away from something and that's why you're going up the flights of stairs? Is it a stair machine? Let us know. I'd like to know more details on that. Yeah. There's this one guy at the gym that Dylan and I go to. And our schedules, like we pretty much go the same time every week, but sometimes we'll go at different times and different days. I'm not kidding. There's this guy who's on the stair machine every single time we go.
Yeah, man.
And Dylan will go on more off times. Like I usually stay at a pretty consistent schedule, but Dylan's like, he is always there. I'm like, you need to ask him like, there's just so many questions. Like, how is he able to be there so much? Like, how is he able to do stairs that much? Like, does he work? I just have a lot of questions, but but he's always on the stairs. So like, I never ask because I don't want to interrupt him,
He's got power glutes too.
Yeah, it's just crazy though, because it's like, and he's on the stair machine. Like usually we take like an hour, 10 minutes or so to do our workout. He's on it the whole time. And he was on it before we got there, like to the point where I'm like, is he trying to play a joke on us? Like, is he
Yeah.
seeing us and just like starts going? And
Is he dancing when he's on the stairs?
no, he's just like, he's dripping. Like he's just,
Do you smell?
I don't get that close to know,
No?
but probably, I mean, probably a little smelly.
Amateur.
No, but that's just crazy though. Like I just
It
there's
is.
maybe I'll try to get
Ask
his
him.
information and then I'll
Ask
be
him.
like, "Hey, can you be on the
You
podcast?"
want me on the podcast? I
Just
just
like
want to know
tell
why
us.
you're always on the stairs, man.
Yeah, like it's like again, I feel like I'm like almost in a sitcom when I'm watching it. I'm like,
Right? It's
how
like
is
a
he
Friends
always
episode.
here? It really
All,
is.
like
Yeah.
the one with the guy on the stairs.
Yeah, for real.
Right?
He's just on there all the time.
Yeah, Holly said he smelled. I agree. He smelled. And Holly did 42 pull-ups, so
Oh, okay,
damn.
perfect. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Hey, what's that smell? By the way, I have a podcast. You want to be on it?
Do you want to be on it? That's my opening line. I don't know how to talk with people, so
Comes
that's
with a
just what I'll
statue if
start.
you want.
If you want. Let's have this really ripped Asian dude, but
Asian
trust
guy.
me, it's worth it.
Yeah, mom.
Look, we got Lee who likes I know now that she likes the Eurythmics, I think was the song that
Oh,
she picked, and Shania Twain.
who
So
doesn't?
fun
Who doesn't
fact.
like
I mean,
Shania
true.
Twain?
Truth.
Right?
Tony, we got more context. He said, "These are the stairs at the hospital. I don't take the elevator or escalator. You
Good for you,
go,
man.
bro." And it's Grogu, just so
Mhm.
you know. I knew he didn't look like normal Yoda,
Yeah, he looked like
Grogu. I don't
yeah,
even know what that means. Is that what Baby Yoda is called, or is that
yeah,
okay?
yeah. That's his name.
hmm
Prepubescent
Okay.
Yoda. Yeah.
hmm I didn't know
Harley.
that.
Yeah. How about you? Any good NSVs?
Let's see. I think just this week I've just been thinking about like reevaluating goals and thinking through like, okay, now that the competition is done, like what do I want to be focusing on, and just kind of thinking through that. And so it's funny, like I think one of the things I've just learned from the competition is I get a lot, for me personally, I enjoy what like seeing what my body's capable of, and um but more so in like practical ways. So like to me, walking on a stage and showing my body off is not practical for me. Rob, I know you do that every day. Like that's part of like your morning routine. For
Yeah.
me and some other people I'm sure who are watching, that's not part of our normal routine. But yeah, I've just been thinking of like different things that I want to do and try now that I have a little bit more brain capacity. But it's like I definitely still want to be working out the same way and eating the same way that I have been. Like I don't really want anything to change with that. Dylan and I were talking about pickleball. We really want to try that because we've never tried it. So we were talking about trying that, and I was even asking him like, would you want to do like some type of well, we have to try pickleball to see if we even like it, but maybe doing a league if we do end up
Ooh.
liking it. I don't know because we haven't tried it yet.
You
But
will. You'll like
or
it.
even doing like a kickball, being part of like a kickball team together, I thought would be kind of fun. So like just I don't know, just kind of thinking like, okay, what do I want like my like my next adventure to kind of look like? And we were talking about like endurance training, and I was saying like I really like strength training more than like I don't really want to like prepare for like a triathlon, because I was even kind of thinking about that, and I'm like, I don't know. So anyway, not really, I guess, a non-scale victory, just more goals and things that I'm thinking about. And I don't know if I want it to be like a big goal like the competition, or if I want them to be smaller goals. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like relieved though that it's done in a sense, like, and where
Sure.
I can just like maybe focus on different things now. So
Do you know what you remind me of?
I don't know. I'm scared to know now.
Yeah, you should be. You remind me, listening to you, of me after the first year,
Really?
in the way that I always had something, right? There's
Mhm.
always like,
Mhm.
what's the next thing? And then,
Mhm.
you do that and you're just like, wow, I want to take this a bit further, because you're realizing all your
Mhm.
capabilities and all the
Mhm.
different things you can do, what your body can do, what you
Mhm.
physically and mentally can do.
Mhm.
And yeah, so for me, like you're talking about pickleball and endurance, those were my first 3 years, right?
Mhm.
And you
Mhm.
did the bodybuilding show. You've done all the things, or you've talked about all the things that I've done every year in training,
Right.
right? So,
Mhm.
like I get from all this that it's great that you're driven and you're learning about yourself and what you can do. And secondly, you're just copying me, which is cool too.
Yeah,
Which I'm
I
gonna
mean, I
Who
didn't
would?
think you'd pick up on it, but this is
Yeah,
awkward now.
yeah.
I just wanna be like Rob, who doesn't?
Right, right. No, but that's awesome. I love seeing that, because like I think it's easy to sort of just, no, I wouldn't say get complacent, but just sort of let it just be regular, or just
Yeah.
be right. But like I like
Mhm.
the fact that you're taking this opportunity to actually continue learning. It's not even about
Yeah.
continue like competing. Who cares about
Mhm.
competing? But continue learning about what you can do, and about you as a person.
Mhm.
um which I think at the end of the day, that's what it should always be about, right?
Yep. Yeah, and just, like, where to kind of, like, allot time and stuff too, because it's like, we're all given the same amount of time in a day, and it's like, where do I want to be dedicating that time and putting it
Mhm.
towards? And so I guess that's an NSV too, where it's like after Dylan and I were talking about it, it's like we both really have learned to value movement and especially strength training in this season. And so it's cool getting done with a competition like the one that we just got done with and going, it's not like I feel like, okay, now I don't have to do any strength training ever
Yeah.
again. Where I feel like there's been other things in the past where I have felt that way, where it's like I get to a certain goal and then I'm like, okay, great, I'm just going to throw it out the window kind of. And I don't feel like that. It's like, no, like that was a really cool snapshot, but like I want to keep going. And like I really enjoy strength training. And if that was the mentality, or if that was like for whatever reason, like I wasn't allowed to do it anymore, like I'd be really sad, like because I've really grown to enjoy like the ritual of it. And it's time Dylan and I go together to where we spend time together and have fun. And so yeah, so I think too, or I was talking a bit with Rob and Murph earlier today. I'm excited for this next year to like see more definition and stuff. I feel like I've built a very good foundation. And maybe like when I see more definition, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do another
Yeah.
competition. Maybe I'll feel different. Is that what happened with you? Like where you when you started doing that, or you were hooked the first time?
Um, so the
Mhm.
first time I competed, I was hooked, but
Yeah.
I had already gone to a point, because I was a bit opposite, right? Like
Hmm.
I had just lost a lot of my muscle. I was sort of at my fat point. I was there in terms of
Hmm.
like my body fat point, not just like my fat point. But yeah, I wasn't horribly far, but I had lost a lot of muscle, so I was building up. And yeah, the first time I got up there, I was just like, yeah, this is something I want to do.
Hmm.
But prior to that, I hadn't really thought about it until JBY is the first one, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, it was a bit different, but it was yeah, I can totally see you doing that as things start progressing, as you start getting stronger, and like you
Hmm.
said, getting more definition. I could see you thinking about revisiting it for sure.
Yeah, I don't know, and it's just interesting. Again, I was talking with Dylan about it of like, I just don't, at least right now, and I don't know if it's possible to change, but like I just don't feel that like competitive streak or desire. And it's like the people who won at the competition, it's like I could just tell like, whoa, this like really meant a lot to them. And I just don't know. Like maybe that's just not my sport where I feel that way with it, but I don't know. Maybe it'll change or be different, but I definitely I want to go to RBT next year to support everybody and like
Oh my
actually
god.
get to watch and see everyone and bring pizza. I think that will be my
Yeah, just
job. So
eat it while we're all on stage, so you just hear it
yeah.
and we all just get screwed up.
Yeah,
Uh
yeah, exactly.
yeah, you better come, because we
We
got
got a
a
lot.
we
No,
got an army. I
yeah.
said it in my story. I told James, I'm like, we are bringing an army from the bariatric community, and I think we have, I don't know, I'll give a range
Mhm.
of 10 to 15 competitors next year coming from our bariatric community, and we're gonna friggin' kill it. It's gonna be amazing. and I am going to be proud mama once again.
Once again, you got the robe to prove it.
Yeah, but I don't know if I could wear a robe backstage if I'm not really competing. I'm not gonna be tanned or anything. I'm just gonna be like regular, but I'm wearing a robe. I was like, oh, that guy's weird.
Well, they'll think that anyway, but
Yeah, that's true. Oh, there's James.
There he is.
An army, James. An army.
No, it's like
an army.
I know, like, because even the people, I mean, we had quite a good sized group this year. It's gonna probably be like triple that though, or more maybe. I don't know. There's a lot.
There's a lot. I'm not done either. It's gonna be freaking awesome. It'll be good.
Yep. Well, should we transition into sexy time music? And then we have our guest who I feel really bad. I feel like we're bamboozling him because it's just me and you and not Murph.
Yeah.
Everyone favorite.
Wants to be Murph. Yeah.
Everyone's going to be disappointed.
Yeah. He's like, oh, this is awesome. Where's Christopher? I missed it. I don't know.
It's so weird. That's his name. I
know. Who the hell's Christopher?
Who is that? I don't know.
But yeah. And oh, shoot. Spoiler alert, radical body transformations. Sorry, guest. You were going to have to wait. The spoiler came. I didn't want to. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you just guest. I just didn't want to spoil that either. I'm spoiling everything. Holy crap. I will be on the new poster this year, too. Oh, unless he's talking to you, Shea, and then I'm not going to be on the poster.
No, I'm like, yeah, that'd be, or I don't see where you're even seeing that.
Oh, it's in our chat. Yeah.
Oh, for some reason it's not loading. I didn't see. I don't.
Maybe
see
just messaged it to me.
Yeah, he's just like.
Or I'm making it up. I don't know. Maybe. It's Rob.
That's what I think. Yes. I'm like, okay, nice.
I need to get two of these.
With your blue little
my tiny thong.
Speedo. Who wouldn't want that? I think.
But maybe other team gold. Oh, more team gold on that.
Arthur and Mary.
Yeah. Come down from the attic, Arthur. Onto the poster.
This is your time to shine.
This is your time.
Your time to shine. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. I actually got to put those up. I need to get posters because I want to. That's 2 posters I made. I want to put those up.
And
all right, we have a special guest.
Statue.
Yeah, a statue that's in everyone's gardens. Remember, I have 10 followers on Instagram. All of them got statues.
That's right. That's right. Wait, okay. And I don't know if Jason's reached out, but Jason, you need to do RBT too. I'm calling him out, or JBY, or both, because you've been killing it. I would love to see you at one of those shows.
Recover because he got injured.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
dang it.
But
yeah,
when
recover.
He does, I would love to see you up there, man. That'd be amazing. And you are already one of the coolest kids. You are the coolest kid.
Yeah, OG coolest kid.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Sexy time music for we'll just do a little quickie, and then a little quickie sexy time music. And then we'll get our guest on. I'm sorry, Phil, you have to deal with us tonight.
Sorry.
All right, are you going to start it?
Sure am. Sexy time music in 3, 2,
'Cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yeah, lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all, to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Yeah, susceptible now, before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell your good night. to. Yes. Yeah. Nothing can stop me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah. So set the bar high before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell your good night.
What's up, guys? It's Murph, and I'm in the comments tonight. Hey, guys, it's Shay, and I'm here tonight.
What's up, guys? This is Rob, and I miss Murph.
We all do.
Welcome to the Waiting Table Podcast.
What's
That was
up?
good. I like that.
Did you like
Why does
that?
he sound so jolly? How come every time we talk as
'Cause he
other men,
is jolly.
like Arthur's jolly, everyone's jolly?
Not when I talk about you. I use
No,
my sad, deep man
How
voice for you, the old man voice for you.
does this sound like?
Hi, I'm Rob.
It's like Napoleon Dynamite. That's me.
That's
What
you.
the heck?
I'm Rob.
I'm Rob. See, still lumbering, big lumbering guy.
Yeah.
From the sound of it. Everyone. Oh, here's this guy again. Hi, Shane.
Hi,
Hi,
Marcus.
Daddy.
Hey, boo.
How
Bro.
you do it?
Dude, there's like so many people on the podcast. You got to leave.
And we
What are you
got
doing?
a big shot producer in the house tonight.
Yeah.
We really have to like be on our
You have to
game.
be on yeah, get out of here, man. Stop fondling my arms.
Hi, other person.
Not other person, big time producer.
Yes, get it right.
Producer.
Producer? Get out of here, man. Okay, go.
I love this.
Bye.
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 Daddy, good night.
Oh gosh.
Mm,
Okay, okay.
good kisses.
Bye, man. Get out of here.
I love Batman.
Dude. All right. This is where you guys see him get grounded live on Instagram. He's gonna be please go. Go. Man, this is the most awkward intro ever. Welcome to the Waiting Table Podcast. Thanks, guys, for joining us on another episode of the Waiting Table Podcast, where we have roundtable discussions about the hottest topics in weight loss. My son just left. Woo! With, of course, the coolest people from the bariatric community. I'm Rob. Unfortunately, Murph could not join us today, but we got Shay, and of course, we got you guys. So grab a chair, wind down from your busy day. My other kid is coming now, and take a seat at the table.
That
Shay,
was
how's
good. Talk
everything?
about pivoting. That was
Right.
great. Tell Lily I said hi. How did her ninja competition go?
She asked how your ninja competitions went.
Good, I got fifth.
Oh,
Not.
poor
Oh, I
spot.
think that's good. I probably would get last,
No,
so
I
that's
got-
impressive.
I ruined my
She ruined her streak.
Oh, I'm
Yep.
sorry. It's because we were there partying too much and she didn't get enough sleep and she had to sleep in the
Yeah.
basement.
Yeah, it's because they were there partying too much and you had to sleep in the basement. You
No,
didn't
That's
get-
probably what it was.
fingers.
Okay. Good night.
Bye bye. Ow.
Dude, you're still
Night.
Bye
here.
bye. Why is it
Bye-bye.
Murph on?
Yes. They say bye. They say good night.
Wait.
You need to go, man.
Did you just start?
No, we've been on waiting for you guys to leave for 15 minutes because my kids keep coming in this camera.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Murph.
Well, on that note, let's bring our guest on because I am so excited to see Phil. This is one of Murph's like lifelong friends that he's had. We had an awesome episode with him. This will probably be the last time he'll be on the show because of,
My kids.
Well,
because
yeah.
of my kids.
No, but I'm so excited to catch up with him. He has such a great story. Rob, do you want to bring him in?
Yes. Welcome to the table. 2-time Emmy-nominated TV producer, Philip Barb.
What's going on, you guys? How are you? Thanks for having me.
Good
Pretty
to
good,
see
man. How are you?
Here, let me adjust this. Oh no, it's a black screen, but I see he was on there. Can you see him, Rob?
I can't. Let's try this again. Philip Barb. No, I think it might have froze.
Oh no.
Oh man, I can
Oh,
see me.
but I hear you. Oh,
I
can
can
you?
see me. Yeah, I can see
hear
me.
you.
You know, you guys got. I'm in there somehow. You guys can't see me though.
No.
No, maybe try to go jump off and come back on, and we'll get you, and we'll see if that works.
Let's
Because I
see.
saw you
Hold on one-
before.
I was
Oh,
there.
there you are.
Oh, there you
There
are.
he is.
All righty. So we switched up the camera. I had like a nice fancy camera.
Aw.
Let's see. Am I back to
Oh, there
black?
you go.
Yeah, you're on. You're
There,
on. You're
now
on.
I
There
think that's
we
the
are.
fancy
So,
one. Yes.
Yeah, I got the nice fancy camera that doesn't really do a whole lot, but it's there. And you know, you buy things and you spend money
And you
on
wanna
them and you
use
want to use
them.
them.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
want to use them.
I love it. It's so good to see you.
Mhm.
It's nice to
How's-
see you as well.
Sorry you're stuck with just me and Rob tonight. I felt disappointment on your behalf because
Yeah.
Murph is like the best part of the show.
Well,
so.
well, me and Murph are gonna have we had words because I think he said my name wrong in the promo. He's
What
like,
did he
this is
say?
my he goes, this is my lifelong my lifelong friend, Philip Barr. And I think
Oh, what a
like
guy.
Roseanne.
yeah, like Philip Barr. I think he lost a little bit of the B. Could have been an audio thing. But I said, hey man, you known me long enough. We gotta get the name right.
Well,
But-
if it makes you feel any better, he said to say hi to Philly cheesesteak. Is that what
Philly
he said? No, it's Philly beefsteak? What did he
Philly
say?
beefsteak, the weirdest
Yeah.
teacher given nickname in the history of
That was
teacher
it.
giving nicknames.
That was a teacher given nickname. That
Oh.
makes me
Very
feel
strange.
way
Very
uncomfortable.
Wait, yeah.
He's like,
You know
hey,
the things that-
beefcake.
Well, it was a she. So it was
Oh,
a-
there you go.
That's
a
even
beefcake.
weirder.
Got super weird, you know, but no, it was it's good to be here. It's nice to see you all. Hopefully audio sounds good, video sounds
Yeah.
good. I'm ready. What do
Yeah.
you guys want to what are we talking? Are we talking about men? Chris said, hey,
Yes.
we're talking about men. It's men's month. She's gonna talk about men. So
We're talking about men's mental health because fun fact,
got
June
it.
is all about men's mental health. I was talking to one of my friends today saying it, and she's like, is it May mental health? I'm like, yes, May is mental health awareness month, but June is focused on the guys. So we
Well,
wanted
you
to
got-
do
you had Father's Day, you know,
Yeah,
we get
it
Father's
makes
Day.
sense.
Let's take the whole. Let's get ready for it, right? We were barbecuing and grilling, you know,
Yeah.
for Memorial Day. We eased on into June.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get a month in there. I like it.
There you
Yeah,
go.
exactly. Well, and I think mental health is something that people are talking about more, but I do think that there is still such a stigma with men talking about mental health related issues and things that you guys struggle with. And so I think it's great to bring awareness to that. And so I want to ask more of the questions because you two are the men. So I already have a question that somebody else asked, which I thought was a good one. But before we dive into that, Phil, because it has been a while since we've had you on the show, could you give just like a little brief introduction of who you are, what you're about, and maybe what your favorite mental health tip is or something that you try to do? Because I know you give a lot of really good ones on your social media. I've seen quite a few of them.
Well,
And can I just interrupt you and say
Go for
it
it, of
doesn't
course.
have to be short because your story is friggin' awesome. The
It
things
is.
you do
but I
is
was also
awesome.
going to say, yeah, brief and me do not
Yeah,
normally go together.
yeah.
I prefer boxer briefs, but I will just
There you go.
briefs are not always
Your
in there,
choice.
but,
Your choice.
yeah, you know, a little bit. So I am hi guys. I'm Phil. I'm a producer living out in Los Angeles. I grew up with Chris and originally from Metro Detroit. And you know, I really am excited to talk about mental health and be back on the podcast and talk with you guys. So I will actually do a truncated, quick, unemotional, very fact-based setup of the story. So
Awesome.
for me, you know, I grew up in Metro Detroit, hung out with a lot of older guys. With that came all the insecurities of, am I cool enough, funny enough, smart enough? Do I fit in with these guys? And that led me down a path where as they started hitting 14, 15, 16, 17, and they started drinking and partying, I was 11 when I first took a drink at a party and got drunk. For me at that time, it was a thing where it helped me be present in a weird way, right? The alcohol was a thing that turned off that voice that was constantly in my head telling me, oh, you're either the best person in the world or you're the worst person. Are you this or are you that? Are you great or are you terrible? And so when that voice disappeared, I was like, oh, that's amazing. It's nice when it's just kind of quiet up there.
Mm-hmm.
And so alcohol kind of became a thing for me as I was going through, middle school, high school, as a way for me to turn that voice off. What happened where things really kind of catapulted for me, unfortunately, my mother was diagnosed with cancer when I was in high school, when I was 14. We had a year-long battle. She passed away when, a week before my 16th birthday. So you had a kid who's kind of already dabbling with using substances to kind of turn down the noise in his head. You add the grief and the confusion, the sadness, the anger of being a kid who lost his parent. And it was kind of a recipe for disaster. For me, I was so wrapped up in performance that it was, I need to do good in school. I need to do good in sports. I need to be the perfect kid. I kind of developed a little bit of what I kind of like to call rehearsed vulnerability, where I knew what to say to where, oh, well, it was, it's really sad, but I just have to look at the good years and the years we got together. And I just really am appreciative of my friends and family, the way, blah, 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 blah. And you learn to say things so that people don't keep questioning. And so they go, oh man, Phil
he's doing good.
He's doing good, right? And so that you'll leave me alone so I can perform, keep the mask on, and then behind closed doors, turn the thing off, drink, and let's get wild. And I always kind of joke, it was at that time, right? I was desperately wanted to be Stifler. I wanted to break all the things. I wanted to fight all the people. I wanted to get all the numbers, hook up with all the people. It was just trying to do all the stuff to try to do anything I could to turn that voice down. And where it kind of kicked, went for me, it was, 18, put my car into a wall, drinking and driving. 19, got arrested. 20, got arrested for alcohol related things. Still overachieving, graduated college from Michigan State University in 3.5 years. So I was keeping all the external stuff, making it look like I had it together. And then I was getting ready to move out to California to start this career in entertainment. And 11 days before I moved away, I got arrested in the town where my dad was a retired police officer, where Chris and I grew up in Melvindale, Michigan. And it was and it was from the newest cop on the force that did not recognize the last name. And it was such a blessing to be able to really finally, I hate to say it, but all of the court stuff stuck. It was like, no, your license is gone. This is a real thing you did that you now have to face consequences for. And luckily that kind of kickstarted my, I was court ordered into treatment, into, AA. And luckily I was able to get into AA, start 12-step. And that was the beginning of the journey of sobriety, as well as a lot of the dedication and fascination with psychology, with, wanting to grow and figure out, who am I? Why am I doing the things that I do? Okay, hold on. That voice in my head, is that me? Who is that voice in my head? Is real? Is he me? Is he not me? Where are those thoughts coming from? And then, now luckily I can say since that day, I've been sober for 17 years, a little over 17
Congratulations.
years. Thank you very much. And, I use, all of my experiences as a TV producer, as, working on set, working with people, what I've learned in program, to now not only do television producing, but I provide coaching for executives and for people that are, looking to kind of take themselves to the next level of, and also getting results that you can get on your own, but let's get there way faster. Right?
Yeah,
and
totally.
A lot of the hardship. So I do coaching, and when I'm not out there trying to make that money, I also volunteer in the LA County jail system, talking with inmates about sobriety and trying to continue that conversation. You brought up a good point about mental health. And I think a lot of people, we talk about it now, which is nice that it's there. But I think the stigma, right? And we hear stigma as if it's this like outside pressure. And I talk a lot with people about, man, the stigma is still there. The stigma of I don't even really like calling it the stigma anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to face it. I don't
Yeah.
want to face it. It's not,
It's uncomfortable.
people are telling me to shut up and just do my job, or shut up and don't, like, no one's telling me. I don't want to talk about it. And so I think there is a little bit of that, you know, for a lot of years, I think that men have been able to hide behind this. Well, nobody cares. People just don't care about, you know, men problem. And that stigma is there about, you don't want to be weak. It's like, now that's eroding away in a lot of communities. And now it's like, no, dude, it ain't everyone else that don't want to listen. You don't want to talk. You don't want to walk through that door. It's like, I used to talk about it with, when I went through a lot of my step work with dealing with, you know, the death of my mom and the grief and all these things I had around it. It was like a door at the end of a hallway. And I could always picture it, this long, dark hallway with the single door, and you can see the light behind it, and there's a little bit of smoke. It's very, you know, very elegant. Purple lights.
I like it. Yeah, very, very creative.
And I knew I needed to walk through the door, but I was terrified of what I would find on the other end of the door. And I think that that's where a lot of us, men and women, but we'll talk men because it's, hey, we're in June. I think a lot of men have that, you know, something's wrong. You know, you're not operating at your full either capacity, or you just know that there's a heaviness to life that you would much rather prefer was not there. But a lot of times we forget we're the ones holding the bag over our shoulder. We're the ones walking around with it, bringing it everywhere we go, because we haven't taken the time to learn the tools that allow us to take the bag down and drop it and get a little bit of relief. And I think that there's some out of some fear that, well, what if I pick it up and it, or I remember this when I was getting sobriety and I was going through things, I had that moment where I was like, what if I do all the work that they're telling me is going to be effective and it does not work?
Yep.
I can at least feel like, well, maybe one day I'll get around to it. And then I can feel okay about not having to do the work, and B, not setting myself up for the fear that it wouldn't work for me. And I think that that was so real. And then once I finally was able to get support from other people, because we don't do this thing alone, getting support from others, talking with others, hearing their journey, experiencing. And then I was finally like, okay, it's worth the risk. It's worth the risk of putting the bag down, opening up my heart, opening up what's the voices, everything, and allowing myself to be seen. And I think the problem is a lot of times we're so focused on, oh, I got these problems, I need to get it fixed, or I need a solution. And sometimes it's like, I just don't want to have to do it alone. And when we get to that place where we can allow others in, we can allow ourselves to let them in. There's a lot of amazing things that we're able to do. And not only to be able for ourselves, but then we're able to help others walk through their door as well.
It's true. Oh, there's so much good stuff.
Right?
Everything that you're saying, I'm like, I want to ask a million.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you later. Appreciate it.
All right, that's our show. Have a good one.
No, but I want to ask, because I think that there's so many relatable things that you're saying as you're talking. But one of the things you said is that voice in your head, right? And you're asking those questions of, is that me? Is that true? Is it false? What is that? Do you mind sharing? And I guess, Rob, this can go to you too, but like, what for you personally, what was that voice as you kind of did your work and worked through that? Where was that coming from? What was that? And what did that voice tell you about yourself?
There is a really great relationship therapist that I've read a handful of his books. I really like the way that he kind of breaks this down, and he talks about it. His name is Terry Real, and he has a lot of amazing books, great relationship books. And he has this idea of the adaptive child in us, that as we're going through adolescence, we are creating these ideas of the world. And it's mainly always out of self-preservation, right? Totally. We're trying to protect ourselves. And it really kickstarts that first time you feel unsafe, right? And you go, I got to figure, like, you go from this kid who is completely dependent on people. Your mother, your father have to do everything for you. You can't use the bath. You can't do anything. then you get a little bit of autonomy, and it's like, oh my God, it's not, oh, now is it me? Now I've got to do all of it. So you start creating these mindsets, these rules for yourself about what life is. And the thing that's important to think now as we're adults, that's a little kid.
Yeah.
There's not a 7-year-old kid in this world I'm taking life advice from. There's not a 13-year-old kid in this world I'm taking life advice from. So why am I still playing by the rules that 13-year-old, 7-year-old, 6-year-old, 12-year-old, 18-year-old Phil set up for himself out of some self-preservation? And so while we can develop a relationship with that child version of us, and we can appreciate why he did these things and why he thought, or why he or she thought that was important for what we needed to do at that time, we are now in what they call, we are now our mature adult. We can now override that system that we set up all those years ago. But the first thing is the awareness of it, is the awareness, and that having that conversation of, what Carl Jung would talk, right? That shadow, the shadow that we all have, that other piece of us that's trying to protect itself, that tells you if you show them everything, they're not going to love you. They're going to withhold love from you. They're not going to want you around because you're at your core. You're not that good, because I see you in the mirror. I see what you think about. I see all the things you do and how you talk about yourself. Why would they think that you're good if they really saw it? And especially when you don't have the understanding that your brain does it, and you do start to think, oh my God, I am broken. I am this unqualified being that somehow snuck through the evolutionary lottery, and now I'm here, and I'm just, it's a matter of time before they all find out. I better put the masks on. What are they doing? I better behave and act like other people do. And then we never, and it's why for a lot of us that can't have a hard time accepting any praise, because we go, you're not praising me. You're not praising me. You're praising what I show you. And if I showed you the real me, you wouldn't praise him, because he's not worthy of being praised. He's not good. And we do this to ourselves. And it's like, and it seems so obvious when we talk about it, right? And when it's like, oh, wow, yeah, of course I made that up when I was that young. Or of course, oh, I see how that happens. Or we appreciate why it would happen with other people. But look, I've been in sobriety a long time. I was at an AA meeting the other day, and I was sharing about, I got all this time, and I still get frustrated that I have some of these same character defects 17 years later, right? I still have times where I'm selfish and self-centered, and I'm judgmental, and I'm mean. I'm mean for no reason. I'm pessimistic at times. And I'm like, why am I still dealing with this? What, are you doing work? Are you doing work on a consistent basis? I never complain that I have to tie my shoe every day. But for some reason, I'm looking for the shower I can take on Monday, and I never have to shower for the rest of the week. I want that magic door I walk through, and I never have a problem again. We can I always love, in Men's Awareness Month, right? It's always that idea of like, a man only needs to be told once, but he needs to be constantly reminded. And that works for our sobriety, for our mental health, for the way, that self-talk that we have. And it also has the appreciation of like, what is that relationship with the younger version of you? And is it accurate? And then I'll end with, I'll shut up at some point, but like
keep going. This is great.
Just to share a story. I had I did an exercise with a therapist where I went back, and you close your eyes. I'm doing the little dots bouncing back and forth.
EMDR.
Yep. And I'm walking through the circus, and there's tents, and there's people there. And I remember always kind of for a long time having this feeling like, I got to protect little Phil. Like, you got to protect him. Like, and I hold on to a lot of things because I'm trying to be the strong version that he needs, blah, blah, blah. Right. Be the man you needed as a child, blah, blah, blah. And then I go, I'm doing this therapy session, and I'm going through it. And I walk into a room, and little me is there. 8-year-old me is there. And he's smiling, and he's happy. and he's having fun and he just wants to go outside and he wants to play. And it was a moment where I'm like, am I diluting my memory of who I was? Am I the one who adult Phil is holding on to this sad childhood and this, this woe is me, what happened to me, he just wants to go hang out with his buddies and maybe get a high C from McDonald's. Like that's all he wants to do. He's having a good time. And on the flip side, you continue on, I walk in and there's the older me. And he's looking at me and he's fine. He's like, you're going to figure it out, dude. He's confident. He's confident in who I'm becoming or what I'm doing and where I'm heading. And I'm like, so future me's cool. Past me's fine. And they're looking at me, 39-year-old Phil, and I'm the one who's like, my life is in crisis. It's like, is that real? Or am I making that up? Or what am I not seeing? And so I'm obviously, we talk, you can't have a conversation around this without talking about therapy. But like for me, coaches, therapists, group sessions, listening to podcasts, doing the reading, I don't think that it's what's the one thing no, I think it's like the same way I don't need to deal with all my finances. Let's have my financial advisor. The same way I want to walk through sobriety, I'm going to talk with my sponsor. I want to be able to have as many resources as possible because at the end of the day, our physical health and our mental health, it's right. One of the guys in my group loves to say, everyone has 100 problems until you have a health problem, and then you only got one. And I think that that's so true of mental health, physical health. And so we create a lot, and a lot of times all the other stuff, it's what we focus on. So we don't actually have to look deep within and figure out what's really going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rob, except for Rob. Rob doesn't have any mental health issues. He doesn't have to deal with it.
Not at
He's
all.
the exception. No, I'm curious what you're thinking, Rob.
Don't ask me any questions on the show. I just want to listen to Phil.
Do you see him not wanting to deal with stuff? See exactly 100%. What Phil was talking about right there.
Everything he was saying, it resonates so much. It's interesting because you're as you're going on and talking about all these different things. I'm just like, yep, that's me. Yep, that's me. And I'm pinpointing different parts during my journey in my life where I'm like, yep, that's me. That's me. And then even now, right, there are certain points that you're just like, okay, this is definitely an area where it lasts more with me right now than other areas. And it's interesting, Shea, you talk about seasons a lot, right? And I think it goes back to what you're talking about, Phil, in terms of the work you put in, because there are certain times where, just because our progression might be up in regress, I'm getting better, and I'm learning more about myself. That doesn't mean that it's always going to be like that. It's similar to physical health, right? Sometimes we have regain. Sometimes we take a break. Sometimes we're friggin' killing it. It's never going to be the same. So the work is constant, right? And I think that oftentimes we don't think of it in that way, right?
I had a situation where I think, I got sober at 22. And so going at that age, and that's still a pretty developmental stage of our lives at that age, right? I just got out of college. I'm trying to figure out all these things. I'm stepping into the work, all this stuff. And I think at that time, there was a part of me that took on a little bit of this story I was telling that I'm broken and I need to be fixed. And I have all this work I have to do. And I, luckily, in working with a therapist, we developed this system where I kind of look at it and I'm like, there's a time where I'm building my house and I'm laying the foundation and then I'm throwing up the walls. Then we go and we got the roof and now we're putting stuff in. At what point do you move into the damn house, dude? At what point do you finally stop walking around the property and step inside the front door and get to lay your head down and rest in the work that you've done? And I think that there's always, we could fix the curtains, and the cat knocks over something and breaks a plate or whatever it is. And there's always going to be a little bit of stuff. Anyone that's owned a home knows the house is never finished. But that doesn't mean you don't move in. And it doesn't mean you can't live there and enjoy what you have done. And I think there was a time where I was like, I had built such a habit of moving forward, getting better, have to strive, got to achieve, do more, get better, blah, blah, blah. That I was like, I had an unrest in me because I'm like, I'm not resting and I'm not enjoying the fruits of these 17 years of, it's like, at what point when is enough enough, dude?
Yeah.
When is enough enough? And I think that that's such a good point, is a lot of times, and many times we're afraid to begin the journey because we don't know what the finish line looks like. Or we don't even know if it's what we want. So do we even try? And it's like, we don't need to have it all figured out. We just need to start taking the next right step, the next thing that feels right. And then also, and I think this is something that's important for everyone, but even definitely for you guys who have achieved a certain level of understanding about yourself, to where you have felt the confidence to step out as a leader in your space and be a face and be someone that people can look up to or can get advice from. In that pedestal, whether it's one person or a million, can start being the trap that got us in the problems in the first place. Because now we're a brand. Now I'm a brand, and I have a persona, or people have come to know this from me. A lot of us that are positive a lot of the time, like sometimes I feel the pressure to always be positive.
Yeah.
Not only just because it's what I think you need from me, but because sometimes I don't like how everyone acts like it's World War III when I'm not on my game. Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, are you okay? What's going on? Like, I'm a human, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be annoyed. But if we're not having that, if we don't have the, like, I also am not a believer in, I don't think that you trauma dump. I don't think that you should drop all your stuff on everyone. Like, I'm a firm believer that if you tell more than three people about your problem, you're not looking for solution, you're looking for sympathy. I'm a firm believer in that. And so for me, I kind of look at it as like, but who are those three? Who are the safe people that have earned the right to have access to 100% of me?
Yeah.
And I think that there does need to be, and I think that that's one problem you do see a lot in sobriety, in people, you start going to therapy, you go to one Tony Robbins thing, and you want to tell everyone everything, and you want to coach everything on everything. It's like, but we have to have those moments where we're like, hold on, I'm making strides, I'm getting better, I want to be here to help others, but I can't be the end all be all for anyone. I got to keep myself right sized on who I actually am. And, there's another great book I love. It was called The Gift of Therapy, that was written by a therapist who had been a therapist for like 40 years. And he basically wrote this book as a guide for people that were 1 year, 2 year into therapy. And one of the things that he said was, like, slow your roll. Don't be so easy to, because you see A, B, C, that you jump to Z and assume you know everything about them. Or you're so quick to be helpful that you give somebody a diagnosis too early. And it's kind of that old thing. If one of my favorite movies is Good Will Hunting. And there's the scene where Robin Williams' character is talking to Matt Damon's character, and he's like, hey, do I for 1 second assume that I know everything about your life and what it must have been like to be an orphan because I read Oliver Twist? And it's such an important thing for us to realize about others and ourselves, is like, you learn a little bit and it does help you be able to be empathetic. But the same characteristics that led us to need to start improving can creep back in, and all of a sudden
Mhm.
we're telling everyone what they need to do, or, oh, I've seen that be, oh, well, I knew you were going to do that. Everyone
Mhm.
loves hearing that. Everybody loves when
It's always
someone else,
received well.
yeah, it's always, yeah, oh, I knew you would respond that way. You're like,
Yeah,
cool, cool,
yeah.
Sharon. I appreciate it. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I think it's such a good point of like there are seasons. See, I do talk about this a lot, Rob, of
All
like
the times,
all the
period and
time.
seasons, all the
Periods and
time.
seasons. No, but
Sheesh.
it's true. It's like there's seasons that are needed, I think, for rest and processing. And I like, even for me, I got so burnt out on just reading self-help books. Like I've kind of boycotted them. I'm reading my first self-help book that I've read. It's been a couple years now, but it's because it's like our brain, or for my brain, I need time to kind of sit and process things and just to have like rest too. So I've
Mhm.
even had that with therapists where I've had therapists for different seasons, and then I take a little break and then I go back to a new therapist or the same one depending on kind of like what I'm needing in that time. But I think it is easy to kind of get in that hamster wheel of like
Yeah.
do more, be more. And it's like you can even do that with things like therapy or working on your mental health, when it's like, who's going to say that that's a bad thing? It's not a
Yeah.
bad thing to work on that, but
I don't know the specific study, but they talked about how a lot of times the same, whether it's dopamine, serotonin, I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but it's like the same emotional kind of chemicals that are released when we accomplish something are also released when we talk about accomplishing something in the future.
yeah.
And there can be a bit of the like, well, I'm reading all the books. It's like, sure, okay, that's fair, right? Like, but there's people that go to the gym and based on their regiment either see massive success or have been going for 10 years, right? Like I love the saying, it's like there's a difference between 10 years of experience and 1 year of experience 10 times. And there's so many people that we like to do the things that give us that, especially in our instant gratification world, we do the things that give us the quick jolt or that give us that little, like, oh, I read 15 books this year, like look at my reading list. And I say this as a guy
is he calling me out, Rob? Because
Right.
I'm a big reader.
Yeah.
I love to read, but I also got to like the thing I loved about reading was once I think when I first started reading a lot of books, I was very much a high school minded reader in that this book is correct because it is written. So everything in the book must be
gotta
right.
believe it.
And then I advanced to a place where I had read enough and you start seeing this and I'm reading psychology. I'm reading business. I'm reading, old school philosophy. I'm reading, racism in America, right? You read
any rom-coms in there for you? I mean, do you throw in a rom-com every once in a while?
I don't read a
50
lot of
Shades.
I don't read a lot of what I call it scripted, right? Nonfiction, fiction, which I read a lot of nonfiction, but I feel like what it helped me to where I started being like, I don't believe that. Like, I don't think that's and then reading became more of a conversation and less of a lecture. And I think that's something really special about that when it starts being like, I'm going to gather a lot of information and I'm going to take the information with and without, like, look at it. Who is the author? What are they trying to portray? Take away the author. Is the information just good? Is there sound behind it? And then at some point, you could read all the fitness books. You can read all the weight loss books. You can read the how to swim books. But at a certain point, you've got to dive into doing the work. And I think that it's like, if someone asks like, hey, I'm going to read these 25 books, I'd probably say, why don't you pick 3 and do every exercise the book suggests, right?
Yeah.
Because how many times have you been listening to an audible? And it's like, all right, if you see figure, on page 72 in figure 7.2 is a spot for you to stop, pause this, and, take a second, pause the audible and go and fill out and you just go right through it.
Yeah.
And you just keep on listening and you never go back to figure 7.2. You never do the homework. You never do the assignment. but that's where the magic is.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the work is at, is when you
Mhm.
sit and you really, you do the assignments that are being told. And it's like, so the goal shouldn't be to finish all the books or to, blah, blah, blah. It's like the goal is to get better and to get the work and to have it make it really start making sense for yourself.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. And with that, and kind of thinking, because I'm a woman, right? But this was a good question that came up, and I think it's helpful to know. So someone had said, I want to be more supportive for men in this community. And I think she was referring more to like the bariatric community, but I think we could say mental health community,
Sure.
right? Like just men in general. How can I help? And so I'd love to hear from each of you, like what feels supportive and what are some ways that women can help support you kind of in this journey of learning mental health and what works for you. Any thoughts on that?
I think permission goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
I think one thing that I've picked up is just this idea. Oh, did my camera disappear?
Yeah.
Yeah, it pooped out on you.
Oh man, let's see. Let me jump out. We're going to go to the camera setting. Let's see. You guys let me know if I come back.
Okay,
Right.
we will.
Unplug that. Sorry to
No,
everyone.
all good. There you are.
There you
I'm
go.
back. Not as good of a camera. It is what it is.
Hey, but it's good. It's good.
Everyone, I think to your question, I think permission is really important. And I think that and I think this works for everyone, right? There's that moment where you go, hey man, do you want advice?
Mhm.
Do you want a hug? Do you want feedback? Do you just want someone to listen? Right? Like, what do you want?
Mhm.
Like, what is it that you need? Are you looking for advice? Do you just want to vent, or do you want a hug? And I think that how that applies to, the men in our life, right? If you go, hey man, how are you doing? Hey man, yeah, I'm fine. Oh no, but like really, how are you? Now you're prying.
Mhm.
You're not going to fucking pry me open if I don't want to give it, right?
Mhm.
But if somehow you could say, either if you're addressing it with someone and be like, hey, I'm, just would love to know like a little bit more, like, are you open to having a conversation that maybe is a little bit deeper than what we normally talk about?
Mhm.
Right. And then you'll feel it. And even if the first time someone doesn't say yes, they at least know that you asked in a way. You didn't pry, you didn't try to bait and switch them with one topic and then sneak in another thing. Or, I think asking someone like, hey, I'd love to have I'd love to just have a little bit of a deeper conversation if you're up for that. Right. I want to just understand a little bit more. Right. So there's the permission route. The other route is being able to, sometimes we got to especially for men with other men, we got to model the behavior.
Mhm.
When I speak at schools, we talk about that to parents a lot about their kids. It's just like every parent says, hey, I tell my kid all the time, if they need me, they can talk to me. Do your kids talk to you? No. Like, oh, but they know they can talk to me. Do they?
Do they? Yeah.
You told them that, and then you grounded them 10 minutes later.
Mhm.
Or I should say that, Rob. I know you were joking about the Rob, but it's like,
No, he wasn't.
Or then you're not. Or then, like 2 days later, something else happened, and they felt unsafe, and they felt like. So it's like,
Right.
but we have to be able to model the behavior. Be like, hey,
Mhm.
like share your emotions with someone. Be like, hey, man, I'm not doing well, and one of the things that's really frustrating for me is A, B, and C, and I don't know if you feel like you want to share anything, man, but it would just. I don't know. It kind of would help if we could connect in that way. Or so I think it's asking someone permission, opening kind of the door.
Yeah.
And also like, what is that relationship? Right. I think that there is, we are a lot of times, if we've been hurt, as many of us have, we have a little bit of a guard up. We're distrusting of people and we're not sure what angle, we're not sure why do you want this information? How is it? And we that part, and it's sad, but we've become a bit of a nation that feels like we can't trust people, and we got to keep people at arm's length, and we're not really sure.
Yep.
But being like, letting someone know, like, hey, I genuinely care about you. Look, you can also be real. Be like, hey, it's, like, hey, it is Men's Health Awareness Month. And I know it's probably not something that you're talking about a lot, but like, I would just love to open a space to where we could have an honest conversation. And I just want to know, like, how are you doing? And if it's not okay, that's fine. And I'd love to just know about it. Right. And being from a place of curiosity, not trying to fix people. And I often joke as a TV producer that everyone is 3 really good questions away from crying.
Yes, it's true.
And but you don't get there from 3 random ass questions.
No.
Yeah.
It's peel back.
Unless you're talking to Murph, then you probably could.
Half a question.
Right? But it's ask the question and then you listen
Mm-hmm.
and you formulate the next one on another that's a deeper level.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one you formulate on another deeper level. And you have to be coming from a place of genuine curiosity.
Yeah.
0 judgment. And you can't be leading people anywhere. If you go into that conversation, and this happens with spouses, dating, right? Like if I go in and I want you to talk about this certain thing, if you yelled last week at our son, and I want that, but I'm going to try to get there through some
Yeah.
It's not the way. It's not the way to get there.
And for those people who are maybe scared to broach the question or ask for permission or like open up that space, it sounds like you've done that a lot of times, Phil. What's the typical response that you get from people when you approach it that way? What do people usually say or do?
I think, it's a lot of times I think it takes, like, also you catch people in the right environment.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's really important, right? Like at the water cooler at work, no, right? Like it has to be someone that you have developed trust with, right? It's the old sales thing, right? You got to know them, you got to like them, and then you got to trust them. If you don't have trust with someone, then don't even ask. If you are not a sound person mentally, people won't care either. And that's truth in a lot of ways. If you are spouting off and you're going crazy and you don't handle your emotions well and you're all over the place and you're high, and people see that, they don't necessarily, they're like, I don't know if I really trust that. This isn't who I want to dive into. But I think if people see that you've developed that, you've built trust with that person, I think a lot of us are craving that part of us to be seen. I think I had a story that happened in my life. It's going to be a story now. I was 5 years sober and I hadn't done the steps. 5 years sober, hadn't done the steps, would go to meetings, give my 2-minute share. Thought I was like, oh, so special. I say all the great things and everyone's so impressed with the young guy in AA. And I had a guy, I had a guy walk up to me, I was probably 3.5 years sober, coming up on 5 years. He walked up to me, big, tall guy, nice guy, walks up. He goes, hey man, just wanted to introduce myself. I wanted to let you know, I think you're full of shit. Knock it off, get a sponsor, do the work. Right. And he saw through my stuff. And I asked that guy to sponsor me. He took me through the steps the first time. He was my first sponsor. I'm massively grateful for him. But it's because he had the boldness to approach me and say something, right? There was also an element of me that was desperately wanting someone to notice that I was broken or that I was not good or that it wasn't working. So I think that there's, a lot of, how do you base it into one situation? I don't know. But I will say the other thing to know is it might not be that moment. It might be 3 weeks down the line, or it might be.
It could be the seed you're planting.
Exactly. Yeah. I always say, even when I go and I speak at schools, right? Like there was a part where it was kind of difficult for me because you'd talk to kids after, you'd share your story and I'd speak, and then there'd be a little bit of afterward where you kind of feel let down because you're like, oh man, there's so many kids coming up and they're telling me their story. And like, I can't do anything. Like I'm leaving tomorrow, right? I don't live here. I'm going on to the next city tomorrow. And you feel that, but I'm like, sometimes if I can be not even the catalyst that starts it, but sometimes, advertising tells us we have to see the billboard 7 times before we even notice that we saw the billboard.
Right.
It's like if I'm one interaction out of 15 that person needs to have before they're ready to share, whether
Mhm.
that's with me, whether that's with somebody else, whatever it is. If I'm doing my little piece to be part of a supportive solution for someone else, then I've done enough work on myself that the discomfort of being in that spot and even putting myself out there, I have to be okay with that, because what I see is the potential upside far outweighs a little bit of small, me feeling small or not listening to whatever it is. So I hope that kind of answers the question a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. What about
No,
you,
that's
Rob?
great.
You've been quiet too.
I've just been listening. It's been awesome to hear everything, because a lot of things that you're saying, it sort of echoes or mirrors what I've been thinking. My main thing in regards to, any tips in regards to how to go to that subject and how to make that happen. Similar to what you said, I just think, as women, in terms of how you can help, it's just letting people know that, for me, is always just letting people know that you are there and you are open to having this conversation. Similar to what you said in terms of like planting that seed. I don't think that anyone who I've ever helped um, has opened up right at that moment. It's
Mhm.
been, for some people, a year and a half. And, in my head, I'm just like, all right, they've just dismissed it. But, there's a lot of power I think there's a lot of power in our stories from the bariatric community and the things that we do and the things that we've achieved and the people that we've touched. And I don't think that just ends when the podcast ends, right? People remember these things, people think about them. It permeates,
Mhm.
and I think that when people are ready, um, I would hope that they would be willing to talk, whether it's to me, therapist, whoever, right? But I think that's the big part, is just letting people know that it's okay, because a lot of people, especially in the bariatric community, we're always, put other people first, put all other people first. You start losing the weight, you start changing, you start realizing, hey, I can put myself first. But oftentimes that habit of putting other people first, that doesn't completely go away.
Mhm.
And sometimes, like I know with my wife, sometimes it's the reminder that, hey, you don't have to do everything, right?
Mhm.
You don't have to always take everything on. Like, it's okay. It's okay to concentrate on yourself. It's okay to want to talk about different things. And I think, just being open, and, as you had mentioned, very genuine and coming from a place where you genuinely want to help. I think that's for me, from my experience, um, I think that's the most important part, just letting someone know that you can have these conversations.
Mhm. I think it's just so cool. Like I I can't imagine like people not, or I understand why people don't want to talk about it, but it's like talk about hard things that you're going through and stuff you're processing through. But it's like, man, it is such a relief when you can do that with a safe person. And it's just like, you don't have to do it alone. And Phil, you've said that, we say that on the show all the time too. It's like, it's, working through sobriety or even working through like a weight loss journey. It's like, it's something only you can do, but you can't do it alone. And
Yeah.
it's so scary though to ask for help or to ask for support or whatever you want to call it. But man, it's like such a relief when you do, when it's with safe people who can
Yeah.
like help support
Well,
you. It's like,
and
oh,
I think, you brought something up, and I don't like being the like separating the genders, right? But like, we joke, right? Iron sharpens iron, right? There are
mhm.
like women, I'm speaking, no one come at me in comments or
Ah, it's
anything, but
all
like, I'm going
good.
to talk in general, right? But a lot of times women from a young age, you
Mhm.
guys are more emotionally in tune with each other, and
Yep.
you talk about those things. So you at least
Well, and
have,
it's socially acceptable to
yeah, and
do that,
you have a foundation of having moments where you shared when you were 12, and that did,
Mhm.
and you, so it makes it, you can see how that would play out, even if you
Mhm.
haven't shared with a friend in a while, but you're like, oh, I do know that there is a lot of that good can come from it. A lot of men never come up in that, and we never have any of that through
Mhm.
our adolescence, through our middle school, high school, like, we just never experienced it. So there's not even anything we could fall back to. So there is an element, and I'm not saying this all the time, But there, I think the question came from, I think you said it might have come from a female, viewer wanting. Sometimes it's about knowing that maybe that is a person that it's got to come from a man. It's got to, and it's like, I support you, but I also appreciate that maybe there's some things you want to talk about that would be better with a man. Is there a man in your life you trust and know and could catch up with? And in offering, sometimes I might not see that I need to talk to my buddy Andrew. I might not notice that, like, it's one of my, I had, in coaching, that's a big thing that comes up is like, hey, who are the people in your world that you like? What is it that you need to feel connected? Right. And, someone will be like, oh, I need to have intellectual conversations with my friends. Great. When's the last time that happened? Oh, I talked to blah, blah, blah 7 weeks ago. Yeah, dude. No wonder you feel off because you aren't doing the things you need to do. So rather than be like, oh, go do, hey, who is someone that you could reach out to and get something on the book so you can set that up. And so I think there's maybe appreciating that there are times when men need to talk with men and women need to talk with women. And if we're opposite genders, and being able to look at each other and say, hey, who's, like, I care about you a lot. And I know that I was listening to a podcast that talked about how important men's health is and I really want to encourage you, but I also appreciate that, like, I might not be the right one that you want to share this with. Who is someone in your life that you would feel comfortable having that conversation with? And then encouraging them. All right, well, maybe, do you think you might be able to hit up Andrew and talk to him in the next week or so, and set the play date for the men in your life.
That's right. Sometimes there's that encouragement is needed.
I think, look, not even from a mental health standpoint, how difficult is it to get like as we age out of school and we talk about, finding time with friends and people get busy. We forgot that so much of our, sorry, I got a phone call and I got distracted, but like so much of us being able to be social throughout school was because we were in the same building with people. And then all of a sudden, you're in your proximity. And then all of a sudden when you get isolated in your life and you're not doing that. And like, it's really not everyone is a planner. Not every group had the one person that like put everything together all the time. That means that there's 15 people that don't do shit. So a lot of us might be that person that like, hey, this person you care about might not be that person that's going to pick up the phone, right? We call in AA, we call it, the 1,000-pound phone. Pick up the 1,000-pound phone and text the person, make the call, do the thing. And I think it goes a long way in being able to like, and then the good thing about that is it also checks our ego of what Rob was talking about, of feeling like we're the one who's supposed to be helping everyone. And some of us can of an ego about that, about being the one that people come to. People just share tons of things to me everywhere I go. And that becomes part of we think it's our superpower. We think it makes us better. And so sometimes it's good for us to be like, wait, am I just trying to help because out of some sort of selfishness? Do I need to be a part of someone's journey for me to feel good about, or am I just happy for them to be on the journey? And I think it's a good thing for us to check ourselves. And like, and I think that, where so much of this comes from, like self-awareness and understanding your limitations and what you can offer also can, and sometimes that gives us the power to be like, sometimes I think we might not step into a difficult conversation because we don't think, oh man, I'm not going to have all the answers. You don't have to. We're not here to save people. I'm not here to save anyone. I'm here to offer my story. I'm here to offer support. I'm here to be an ear. I'll give you a hug. But like, I know my limitations as a person and being able to like save someone. Right. And so I think having that well-rounded understanding of like how important it is and also how limited your actual input is, like finding that balance and being able to be a person of action and love and care. And I think it goes a long way.
Yeah. And I think just being honest about that too, like of just saying that, like, and I think when you were talking about like the performative piece and masking, like I've really worked hard over the last several years of trying to remove aspects of that of my life. And it just makes it so much easier. Like even when you're bringing up conversations with people that are uncomfortable, like it's okay to be like, this is really awkward. I don't really know how to have conversations like this because I haven't done it before. And it's okay to say that and just be real. And that I found, because I used to be a lot more polished and put together and very calculated in responses I said to people and how I said things. And then the more that I haven't been like that, and I just kind of say honestly what I'm thinking, or like, oh, I don't really know what to say, or like, I'm so sorry that that happened. I wish there was more I can do, but I can't really, it actually like helps people. Like I noticed with people just kind of this sigh of relief of like, oh good, like I don't have to show up with a mask either, because it's like you're not showing up that way. So it's like even when you have those conversations, it's okay to be like, this feels weird, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to like know how you're feeling and it's uncomfortable, I don't have all the language, and thanks for walking through it with me.
Yeah. I'd love I mean, I know we've been on for a minute. Like I'm good on time. I don't know how long you guys ago, but are there other questions that you had that sent in? I'd love to, maybe we do some rifling through, and I'll try not to be so long-winded.
No, it's all good. No, just lots of people saying that they appreciate like the episode and that it's really helpful. Someone was saying that his wife, asks or he didn't say all the time, but asks, are you okay? He says the worst question ever. I've never said, no, I'm not okay. And Murph was saying kind of in the comments a bit of like, it saying no and saying that you're not okay is really hard. But it's healthy and it's part of, being honest with friends and family, which can help you not feel so alone. And
it's true though. Like our default is, regardless of how you're feeling, is like, oh, is it like, hey, how's it going? Oh, it's great. You'd be having the shittiest day, but we
do have that culture of like I hear it all the time of, men saying, like, I had a friend the other day that had a comment, that had a post, and it was like, just don't forget, no matter what you're going through, that like, as a man, like no one cares, like just get up and do, and it's like that BS is out there. And there are a lot of people with very big followings that like share that, and people get into it, right? Like there are all these communities online. There's a lot of really toxic, awful communities online for men. I'm sure there are for women, but there is a lot of awful stuff being said to men about what life is and how you should and what you need to do. And it's pretty gross in a lot of ways. And like that, like, are you okay? Like, no, but okay, then are you going to help me? Like, why do you even care? And it's like, so maybe like, are you okay? Like, that's not the right question.
Sure.
It's not, it's more of a, like, how do we invite genuine conversation with people and be like, hey, or sometimes call it. Yo, dude, you're not good right now. I know you. I love you. I've had times where someone's been like, dude, what the fuck's up? What's going on? Like this, tell me what's happening, because I'm telling you, I'm either worried for you or nervous for you. And look, and that's obviously on some more extreme cases if you actually are really concerned about somebody, but like, find the ways to have the conversations,
I try to approach it too with like as much neutrality as I can. And I catch myself on this all the time. Like it's something I still work on, but like, instead of saying like, are you okay? That's kind of implying like you're hoping that they say yes, even if you're not. That's kind of what the question itself implies.
Sure.
And so I try to ask more open-ended questions of like, oh, like, how are you feeling today? Like, but I catch myself where I'm like, oh, do you feel good about that conversation, or do you feel okay about that situation? It's like, no. How do you feel about that situation? How are you feeling about that?
It's funny that there's a thing in coaching that you learn, or that you've learned, that I learned, and whether, however people want to perceive it, but there's a lot of conversation around the words we use, right? They say women talk feelings, men talk thoughts. So a lot of
What do you
men,
think about the situation?
a lot of men won't respond well to how do you feel?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's like, well, you don't care how I feel. Like, does anyone? It's like, oh, what do you think about that? Oh, I'll
Mhm.
give you my 2 cents,
Right.
right? Like, and there's a whole
Good,
like,
yeah.
wait, feel, and so there is appreciating that sometimes we can be talking inside of our, we could be talking inside of our gender with, we're not even realizing the words that we use, the simple words, the difference between, hey Rob, how are you feeling? And hey Rob, what you been thinking about lately? Those are
Mhm.
those are
Is that
very like they
Rob, is
like
that
I
why you
guarantee
never answer my questions? Because I need to be asking that. That's why you never
I
talk
just
to
try
me.
to, when you talk, I just
Zona. I'm gonna do
keep
that
going.
next time, Phil. I'm gonna be like, Rob, what do you think about that? And they'll be like, just
My
won't get it.
reaction.
because I mean, and if you, but it's comical, right? Because it
Mhm.
seems so simple, but I'm sure
No, it's true though.
everyone listening
100%.
can have examples where you're like, yeah,
Yes.
I know
Mhm.
tons of men who will tell me
Mhm.
exactly what they're thinking,
Yeah.
never want to have thoughts or never want to have feelings,
Feelings.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the flip side, right? Like you activate a feeling conversation with a
Yeah.
woman and they want to share it and we're connecting and we're vibing and we're
Uh-huh.
share like thinking feels so cold.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's so true
If
because
you're
I even think if you're like, "What do you think?" It's like, I don't know." Like,
right.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like, even my husband will ask me those questions, like, "What do you think?" I'm
Yep.
like, I don't know." But it's
But
like, "Oh, how do you
it's so
feel about
funny.
it?" It's like, "Oh, well, I'll tell you how I feel about it." I have lots of strong feelings. It is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
awesome.
I know on that we are kind of over, but I don't know, Rob, can we end with like, can you do like one last like home hitting question to represent the men? What's the men's mental health question that we want to end with? All the
So,
pressures on you.
yeah, I know. So this actually came up. Tony was talking about, different fears, and I know from my point of view, you talked about a lot of different things, and it was interesting as you were talking. Like I said earlier, I was pinpointing different parts of my life, still now, right? As you're going through different insecurities, different challenges that I'm going through, but fear tends to be one of the biggest things that I do hear from people, right? Fear of a variety of different things. Do you find that specifically with men, do you find that there is a specific fear that you hear more frequently because the fact that we're men, and because the fact that we're men maybe within this time period as well, because obviously with different generations, different time periods, there's different stresses, different expectations.
Yeah. I think right. I think the simplest one, right? It always comes to just that fear of not being enough, right? And I think in that manifests its way into a lot of things of like not being able to provide, right?
Mm,
Not, like so much, I'm not able to provide financially support. Um, it's or if you're single, I think there's a lot of fear in what if I'm not the man? What if I find her? What if I meet my perfect match and I'm not good enough for her? I'm
mm,
not man enough for her. I think that that's something that comes in, and a lot of it is, it's like our fears are like are being. It's in a way, it's kind of like being faced with your. We don't want to be proven that our insecurities are true,
right.
right? Like that's what it is. Like what are you afraid of? Like when is that moment coming? Right? When is that moment of like, and when will it disappear? What is, and we look at it, I'm afraid of this or I'm afraid of that. It's like so much of it comes back to just like, dude, do you love yourself, man? And what does that look like? Does it, can you find gratitude in who you are? Because I know for me, it's always about enough.
Mm,
And none of it is ever enough because I'm always moving the goalpost. The achievements are never enough. The finances are never enough. Where's the next job? I have a show coming out on Netflix in 2 weeks. And we're worried about like, we got to sell the next show. We got to, we got pitches coming out. We got to get that one over, and it's like so often just a failure of being able to appreciate all the amazing things that we are and what we've done. And a lot of this might not resonate with everyone, right? But this was something that in my own story that I had to identify. And it's not just with death. I think it's in a lot of ways in our lives. Is we talked about like that adaptive child, that safety, needing that safety. I think a lot of us experienced a moment in time where we felt good on Monday and then Tuesday hit and something really bad happened, right?
Mhm.
We got that cancer diagnosis, or we found out someone was cheating on us, or we learned something about our parent that all of a sudden made us untrusting of, right? We've all had that thing where we thought we understood how this thing of life was, and then we got that rug was pulled out from underneath us. And that idea of waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? That trouble may be around any corner is at such a core root of a lot of our fears about the future, because we can look at a positive future, but we always think that it's right around the corner is that bad thing. And so we worry because we're trying to come up with the solution to what if I figure it out, if I just worry enough about it, if I worry and worry and worry, maybe I'll magically have a solution on and prevent myself from not falling into that thing. But the worrying, I hate to say it feels good, but I think there's a lot of us that do it because it's not about feeling good. It's an inability to handle control.
Yeah.
It's comforting. It's kind of comforting to have
right?
it. Mhm.
And I think that I think a lot of the fear, it comes from like it's, if someone is afraid of spiders, right? And if they were to go through and then like a part of that might be eventually coming face to face with a spider and experiencing that the spider, while you might still not like it, but it's, let's put it in its real place. Let me take the irrational fear and get it into a rational thing, right? Like the show that I have coming out in a couple of weeks is a shark show, all about sharks on Netflix. And when I started studying the show, right? Like I'm the guy who's like, I don't really want to, if there's a dark corner of the pool, there's a shark in it, right? Like it's coming for me, right? And then I read every year there's between like 6 and 10 shark deaths worldwide.
Yeah.
Right. So if you think that you're going to go in the ocean and like you can't even be around water, it's like, not that you might not want to go in the ocean. It might still seem daunting, but like, can we get this fear to a realistic and rational place? Mm-hmm. And I think that that's what we have to look at is like, what is the fear that we have? And is there even any real life tangible evidence that this is a possibility? And if it is, like, have you ever experienced other things, other hardships, other tough moments in life that you were able to work through and conquer? And even if it was, even if it's something as significant as losing the person we loved, right? Losing a parent, losing that person, I was cheated on, but at a certain point, we've got to be able to, it's not about shutting the door on the past and forgetting that it happened. It's about being able to, how do we develop a relationship with whatever happened to us, understand it, properly grieve it, and allow its appropriate space in our head, right? If someone's been hit by a car, I'm not going to tell them that like, you're crazy for looking 5 times before you cross another street, right? Like I understand how it happens, but to what degree is it you can't leave your house, right? At what point do we have to look at what is the life that I want, right? Like, sure, I can be afraid I'm never going to be, I'm never going to have the $20 million house on the beach. And that's what I want. And that's what I told myself when I was 18, moving to California, that's where I thought I was going to be. Do I want to live a life where that is the only place that Phil gets to say that he was successful, or that when Phil finally feels like and what's the downside? Like, what's all the opportunity costs emotionally of hanging on to this thing that I need that? And that's why I have such a beef with like the online entrepreneur space of go out there and achieve and do all the things. It's like, bro, there's only one Mark Zuckerberg, bro. Like he made it. He made Facebook. He made the millions, and it's cool. He's got the house that he bought in Kauai, right? But it's like, does that mean the rest of us are supposed to somehow, that it's wrong for us to enjoy our lives? Is it wrong for us to see ourselves and what we've gone through and what we do as a success? Is it wrong for us to enjoy our lives because we don't have the $20 million house?
And even if you do achieve that goal, right, of the $20 million house, it's like, I know a lot of us in the weight loss community have felt that, maybe not the $20 million house component, but it's like you achieve that weight, that goal weight, or what you always wanted to be. And it's kind of a letdown a lot of the times,
Because you
it's
thought it
like,
was going to solve you thought it
yes.
was going to solve what you
Mhm.
were, the whole thing. And I think that that's
Yep.
why I feel like this is not a theory that I've ever figured out. How do I want to phrase it? But so stay with me.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in
Yeah.
progress. But I honestly feel like ambition and accomplishment without service will always breed entitlement,
Mm.
because we think that we are going to solve something with the achievement.
Mhm.
And then when we get it and it doesn't solve that deep emotional thing, because that deep emotional thing, that doesn't have anything to do with the achievement.
Nope.
If we don't have service, if we're not somehow connected, right? The connection, the service to another person, we will always find entitlement on why we've been wronged or why we deserve better, because we think that because this thing we built, that this idea that I'm going to achieve the thing and it's going to solve the problem, doesn't work. We've been lied to. We don't want to say that our process was flawed. It must be the world is wrong.
Everyone's out to get me.
Everyone's out to, right? And then we
Mhm.
start thinking that we don't need to play by the rules. We do things the way we want to do things because you know what? Whatever, the world doesn't care. And I think that apathy, that entitlement is such a dangerous place.
Mhm.
And look, I've been around a lot of, not only just wealthy people, but a lot of people that are what you would consider the peak of their craft in a very visible
They have it
space,
all.
right?
Mhm.
And I'm not even just talking about people that are, started the huge construction company in Ohio and built it, and but no one else really knows. I've worked with people that have millions of followers, that have a lot of visibility on who they are, what they've achieved, what they've accomplished. And behind closed doors, I've had very in-depth conversations with people. The money, the accomplishment, I won't say they're nothing, because they are. It's great to win the NBA championship, but then Tuesday comes. There is that moment when it all settles, right? And maybe the reason I got to that point was to make this point. When someone is going through something very difficult, a lot of people show up for them. When they go through something special, something different, you go through a death, you go through a divorce, you go through whatever, people show up in a big way for you, because it's natural. It's what people do. The biggest moments are 6 months down the line when all the support's gone.
Yeah.
Right. It's why we see a lot of relapse after people hit 5 years, because 5 years can be building up to this thing. And then you're still a person on the other end. We not only need to be aware of our friends that are going through difficult moments, or people that are going through difficult times, but we now have to have the ability to understand that grief sometimes can be a very long road. Recovery can be a very long road. Someone can feel really good in June, and then August can come and it can be a really tough place. So I think it's being able to have these ongoing conversations. It's great that we have a month to kickstart these things, but mental health for all of us, it is a year-round, every day, all the time. And the relationships in our lives are the most important things. So get out there, folks. Take care of the people you love. Have the conversations. Share the memes. Share the positive stuff. I always, there's times where I joke, like I'll see 19 people all saying the same thing. And I'm like, oh God, am I even original? I'm saying the same stuff they did. And I go, you know what? A lot of fifth grade teachers all across the country are teaching the same thing. But they're teaching it to different people, and different people need to hear it at different times. And so just because just because you see someone else or someone else is on this podcast or this person shared this meme or that, there's always room for more positivity. There's always room for more connection, for more conversation, for more service. So you'll send this stupid cat video, send the encouraging meme, send the encouraging thing, open up the conversation, share the podcast, share the clips, do the things, and let's continue to make the mental health conversation 365 days a year.
I love it.
Agreed.
It.
100%. I think that's a perfect way to end things. But Phil, before we go, where can people find you?
Yeah.
Besides on the beach.
Besides on the beach.
Just hanging out on the beach. Yeah. At Philip Andrew LA on Instagram, on TikTok. And would love to hear from you guys. Also, I have a website, philipbarb.com. You can go there, and get in touch with me. And if you stuck around this long, if you're still hanging out with us, like, thank you so much for, being part of this and tuning into the waiting table. Please like and comment and share on these things. It helps with the algorithm, and also just passing the messages. And I'd love to hear from you. So if you have any questions for me or anything, and then also, hey, if you like sharks, go check out all the sharks on Netflix coming in.
Yeah. Can you tell us what the name is so we can watch it?
It's All the Sharks.
Oh, it's literally called All the Sharks.
It's called All the Sharks. Yeah. The idea behind it was like, a lot of times shark programming focuses on like the same 5 big sharks.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that all of the different species got their place. So we did
representation.
And so we last year we shot it. We went and, we were all over the place. We got a chance to go to, South Africa, Maldives, Australia, Bahamas. And
Murph would be so jealous.
Yeah, Japan. It was an incredible trip. It's a great, really fun show. And we did a lot of work around making it really family friendly.
Cool.
So that it was something where the family could sit around and parents don't have to worry about all of a sudden if someone's going to lose their arm or not.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's
My
awesome.
son will love that.
I know. I want to go watch All the Sharks.
Right?
So cool.
All right. Well, Phil, thank you so much for joining us again. You did not disappoint. I'm sorry if we disappoint you. You didn't have a Murph, but I'm sure he'll be reaching out, and it's always a pleasure. You share so many amazing nuggets. Your story is just amazing. So
I know it's like your stuff I'm gonna just be chewing on and thinking on for the next several weeks. Like
I don't think I've said so little.
I know. I'm like, Rob, are you still alive? Okay, no, he's just really listening.
I'm just like, no, it's awesome.
It's rare for him to actually listen.
Yes.
And we got through it with no tears without Chris.
I know.
So,
Screw you, Chris.
We don't want to cry here, Chris.
Yeah.
Right. All that stuff I said about like mental health and men's stuff.
Real men don't cry.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Love flirting it. See, now that's the new guy voice, is not the lumbering voice that we said earlier. Now it's just this angry or aggressive. Extreme. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Phil, for everything. And thank you guys for joining us on another episode of the Waiting Table Podcast, where we're serving the weight loss community. Oh, it's our... It doesn't work.
Did it work?
It did not work.
At a time. Dang it.
No, it only works when Chris
does it. Christopher.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Phil. Have a good night, man. Bye, guys.